So, Glenn, do you think when you're looking at the DOGE legacy, and you look at Elon's legacy, and when legacy, I don't mean the actual legacy of what seems like about 40 children at this point, but I'm talking about his, how he will be remembered by the public. The DOGE cuts they're going to send some little sliver of them in a separate bill now to Congress.
Yeah, this pisses me off.
$8.5 billion. Now, of course, it's much harder to pass a separate bill, and it's only $8 billion. Who do you blame for this?
The GOP. The GOP.
What does that mean?
I think that very few of them are serious about it. Some of them are. Mike Lee is very serious about it. Rand Paul is very serious about it.
Chip Roy, Thomas Massey.
They're all serious about it. But that's, there's a handful of them. And the rest of them, are either too stupid to get it. I mean, we've spent a lot of time on our debt this week and what it means and what's coming if we don't get serious about it. And, there's $190 billion that Musk, said we can cut all this stuff. And nobody wants to do it. I mean, if the Republicans can't cut the easy stuff, what good are you? Really, honestly, what good are you? I mean, there should have been, it would have been nice to get up to 900 million billion or $1 trillion in cuts. That would have said to the world, we're serious, and it would have put us on a completely different course than the one we're on right now. And, Donald Trump is going to do his best to grow us out of this, to set up the conditions for AI and everything else and bring manufacturing back here to America, yada, 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 to try to grow our way out of this debt. But you have to cut. And, I'm just sick of the Republicans, just sick of them. Sick of them. They don't. Okay, so wait a minute. You needed to have the House and the Senate and the White House. Well, you got all three. Now what's your problem? You don't have big enough spread? You're not doing anything. For Father's Day, let your dad know he matters. Get him a gift from American Giant. They make clothing here at home with American cotton, American hands, and American heart. It's quality you can feel. Go to american-giant.com/Glenn and get 20% off your first purchase. That's american-giant.com/Glenn.
Well, they're continuing much of the spending from the Inflation Reduction Act. That's something. That's
yeah. I mean, you can't cut that out. You can't cut that out. You can't say we're going to go back to the spending that we had in 2019. Can't do that?
Yeah, or at least, just we'll even increase the spending for all the programs that existed when Joe Biden took over. But the stuff that he passed, that is brand new, that people aren't used to and depending on for years and years and years and years, we're going to get rid of the rest of the spending from those programs. You can't even do that? I mean,
no. You can't. The money that hasn't even gone out, you can't say, we're not going to send that out. You can't even say that.
They can't say that.
What good are you?
Some of that they've pulled back on. That's true. And of course there are a lot of good things in this bill. I mean, I think you'd agree with at least continuing the tax cuts. I know we'd both like more.
Yes.
But if you let those expire, that would be devastating to the economy.
Devastating.
What do you make of the criticism from some? This goes mostly towards the right, who are more hawkish on the budget and such, that, look, it's true, the Republicans did not put this in this bill. But Donald Trump could demand this is in this bill, and there's no sign that the Republicans would not take him up on what his demand was. There's no reason to believe they would say no to him if he demanded it. He has not made a big deal publicly pressuring lawmakers to include the DOGE cuts. So
I do have concerns about that. He should have pushed harder for that. I agree with that. I'm not sure that the Republicans would have gone along with it because, if you do have a an argument. First of all, you have all of those Republicans that are part of the game there and have their favorites, and they don't want anything cut. Okay. Sorry, gang. Everybody's going to have to lose something. I think if he would have made this his priority, it would have happened. But I don't think that is his priority. His priority is elsewhere, and there's some things in this bill that are going to strengthen his priorities. For instance, tariffs, and that was, he was more focused on that, and I think more hopeful that maybe the Congress would do their job and they'd care about the spending. But he's not a guy ever that has ever talked about debt or deficit. He does not believe there's a debt or deficit that is too big. He believes the problem is that the economy is not roaring. So let's open the economy and we'll make that money in tax revenue and we'll be able to afford these things. I don't happen to believe that. I believe it to some degree. I think we must make cuts. But that's never been his thing. Tariffs always have been. He's never talked out about the debt and deficit to any real degree. It's not his thing.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't run on that initially. I mean, he cares about it
the
at some
Republicans
level.
have.
Republicans have over and over again.
Republicans have. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you about the Musk relationship there. Elon, there's definitely, I think, a clear effort by the media to portray this departure by Musk as this adversarial sort of situation, that they've grown apart, they don't like each other anymore. There's been leaks about Trump saying that he was angry at Musk for trying to get some briefing on some China issue. A lot of the people inside the White House didn't like Musk, and some of that's possible. Yeah, that certainly is true at some level. Do you think that they still get along? Is there this separation?
I think point? Donald Trump and I think those two get along. They're thick as thieves. I mean, I think they are, in many ways, two peas in a pod. They understand each other, unlike I think a lot of people could understand either one of them. And I think they are friends. What's interesting is he's a month away from his July 4th goal. He said he was leaving in July. He said, I hope to have this done by July. And I'm not going to be staying for very long. And then on the anniversary next year, July, we'll have cut X number amount. He's a month away from this July. And I think he just got frustrated. And I don't necessarily think with the president, maybe, but I don't think so. He just got very frustrated. Nobody's serious. Why would I take all of the hits that I'm taking right now? Why would I put my car company in danger, SpaceX in danger, risk the reputation to everything that I hold sacred and dear, to do all of this hard work and sleep on the floor? I mean, he was sleeping on the floor. To sleep on the floor to right the ship on this, and nobody's serious. Screw you. I think that's where he is. That's where I would be. Screw you.
Yeah,
not doing it anymore.
It seems like that's part of it. I also think that there's we were talking about some of the people in the White House and in the surrounding apparatus that don't appreciate Elon Musk. Some of that's been public. A lot of it, I think, is behind the scenes. You're now getting that his departing, the hit pieces, things being leaked about Musk. The recent one today, this is in the New York Times, that Musk was using drugs at high levels. Listen to this. Listen to this paragraph. Mr. Musk's drug consumption went well beyond occasional use. He told people he was taking so much ketamine, a powerful anesthetic, that he was affecting his bladder, a known effect of chronic use. He took ecstasy and psychedelic mushrooms, and he traveled with a daily medication box that held about 20 pills, including ones with the markings of the stimulant Adderall, according to a photo of the box and people who have seen it. Now, how many people have taken photos, Glenn, of your medication box? I would say that's not common unless someone's trying to to destroy you in the media.
Right. Right.
So is that what this is? Basically, they're just now, everybody who had a problem with Musk while he was there, now that he's out, they all think they can leak stuff negatively to the media to destroy him.
Let me give you another perspective on why they are trying to destroy him. The people in the White House. In a situation like this, and really any real powerful situation, everybody jockeys for a position. I want to be next to the boss. I want to be next to the boss.
Yeah.
A new guy comes in, has not played the game. Nobody really knows who he is. He doesn't play by the rules. And he'll just go right into the White House and he'll just walk right into the Oval and go, yeah, I didn't talk to any of those guys. Listen, I want to talk to you about this. That must drive the career people out of their ever-loving mind. It's got to drive them crazy. What is he saying to the president? All of us have been working so hard to get the president to go this. And what did he just say? What did he say? That's the real problem, I think, that the people in the White House have with Donald Trump, is his access and his ability to connect with Donald Trump one-on-one without any filter in between. They like filters. People like filters between the top and access to the top.
Well, we learned about this with Joe Biden. When he was president, even his own cabinet secretaries couldn't come see him.
I love that filter.
Yeah, a different kind of way of doing it. Is there a part of this, too, that's just germane to the way Trump has kind of constructed his White House, which is like, I think a lot of good things come out of it, where he has a bunch of different sort of factions, right? And he has a bunch of people around him who really
You mean like a team of rivals?
Like a team of rivals, right? He has that. And I think at its best, there's really good things that come out of that, right? When people who really care about the country are arguing the best policies to go forward and the best approaches. And on the downside of that is there's always people who are just out there to cut everybody else's throat so that they can get closer to Donald Trump, so that they can have that access. Is that what's going on here partially?
Yeah, I think so. I think Elon Musk is probably pretty pissed because he realized a lot of people aren't serious. And I've just risked a lot. If Donald Trump got in and all the people that he had trusted, that he put around him, and they were all like, no, we're with you 100%. And it was the same kind of situation it was last time, I think he'd be pissed. I think he'd be really pissed. Who the hell can I even trust? Now, he risked his life. I think Elon Musk is risking his life to stay, but he's certainly risking his career and his companies and everything all around the world. He's got a bad name now. And I just think, if I'm risking my life, my fortune, and my sacred honor, and none of you are serious, I'd say screw you in a heartbeat. And I think that's really what it comes down to myself.